Have you ever been told to just stay positive when your world was crumbling? It sounds like advice, but in the wrong moment, it stings more than it helps. Because real positivity isn't about slapping a smile over pain. It's not ignoring your fears or pretending the storm isn't real. It's about choosing where your mind lives while the thunder rages on. The ancient Stoics knew this well. They didn't preach blind optimism. They practiced resilient thinking. And today, we're going to explore how you can cultivate that same power, starting not with the world outside you, but with the world inside your mind. Let's clear something up right away. Positive thinking is not toxic positivity. It's not about pretending everything is fine when it's not. It's not about forcing gratitude when you're grieving or repeating empty affirmations while you're crumbling inside. That's denial, not discipline. The Stoics never said, ignore your problems. In fact, they told us to look directly at them. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." So, what does that mean? It means positivity is a choice of interpretation, not ignorance. It's strength, not softness. It's the decision to say, even in pain, I can choose perspective. Even in chaos, I can control my response. And that mindset, that's power. Your mind is not a passive observer of your life. It's the engine, the lens, the battlefield. If you don't train it, the world will train it for you. Most people live as prisoners of their own thoughts, trapped in loops of regret, fear, and insecurity, ever questioning if those thoughts even belong to them. But here's the Stoic truth. You are not your thoughts. You are the observer of your thoughts, and you have the power to challenge, redirect, and replace them. Seneca once said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." And that, quote, it's not metaphorical. It's your daily life. You suffer twice, once from what actually happens, and again from the story you tell yourself about it. Break the story, and you break the suffering. Now let's talk about a tool more powerful than any external motivation. reframing. reframing is the art of seeing the same situation through a different lens. The Stoics were masters of this. They looked at adversity and said, good, a chance to practice strength. They looked at loss and said, everything is borrowed. This too was never truly mine. They looked at death and said, it gives meaning to every breath. This isn't denial. It's not pretending the wound doesn't exist. It's changing how the wound defines you. Instead of asking, why did this happen to me? They asked, how can this serve me? That's the essence of Stoic positive thinking. Not fake smiles, not sugar-coated lies, but mental alchemy, turning pain into perspective, turning fear into fuel. Picture your mind as a field. Every thought is a seed. Plant fear, plant bitterness, plant self-pity. You'll harvest chaos. But if you plant courage, discipline, gratitude, you cultivate strength. And here's the catch. You're always planting something. Every time you repeat a fear, you water it. Every time you dwell on a problem, you reinforce it. And every time you interrupt that cycle when you say, I don't have to believe this thought, you start taking your power back. Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react that matters. Reaction is a habit, and habits can be retrained. You're not a prisoner, you're a gardener. Tend to your thoughts, because what you feed grows. Let me ask you something. What's the first thing your mind says to you in the morning? Is it doubt, worry, I'm tired, I'm overwhelmed, I can't do this? Or is it something powerful, something anchored? Most people lose the battle of the day in the first 15 minutes after waking up. That's when the stories start playing. And if you don't intervene, those stories shape your entire day, your mood, your energy, your decisions. But what if you trained your mind like a Stoic? What if, before the world even touches you, you touch your own mind? You wake up, and instead of thinking I'm already behind, you say, I'm exactly where I need to be. Instead of I don't know if I can handle this, you say, I have everything I need within me to endure and grow. Say it before you believe it. Train it like a muscle, because it is one. The Stoics never told you to feel nothing. They told you to control what you do with what you feel. That's discipline over emotion. It's crying and still showing up. It's doubting yourself and still doing the hard thing. It's being afraid and taking the next step anyway. Positive thinking isn't the absence of pain. It's the presence of direction in the middle of it. It's building a fire that doesn't go out just because the winds change. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have within you a power which, if cultivated, will give you strength no circumstance can touch." That power is self-command, not reacting blindly, not surrendering to every wave, but standing calmly in your center and choosing again and again. Here's something we don't talk about enough. Your mindset doesn't just shape your world, it affects everyone around you. When you choose confidence instead of despair, someone sees that. When you meet setbacks with steadiness, someone notices. When you lead with peace, people around you breathe deeper. Your energy ripples. You've seen it in others, haven't you? That one person who doesn't panic when things fall apart, who speaks slowly, acts intentionally, and radiates calm. You remember them because their presence altered yours. That's what a Stoic mindset does. It's not just armor, it's a light. The more you develop it, the more you carry others with you. Even silently, we spend hours at the gym sculpting our bodies. We count calories, we track steps, we stretch and sweat and strive. But what about the mind? How often do you practice mental reps? How often do you train your focus, your self-talk, your patience? The Stoics trained every day. They journaled, they reflected, they reminded themselves, I might die today. Let me live as if that's true. They didn't do this to be morbid. They did it to wake up, to show up fully, completely, and consciously. So here's your workout. Practice gratitude in discomfort. Replace complaint with curiosity. Catch a negative spiral and say, not today. Each one is a rep. Each one makes you stronger. Before we end, let me leave you with a challenge. Tomorrow morning, when you wake up, don't reach for your phone. Don't scroll. Don't react. Instead, sit in silence for 60 seconds and say one thing, just one thing to your mind that sets the tone for your day. Maybe it's, I will not be moved by things I cannot control. I am bigger than this fear. Today, I respond, not react. Make it yours. Say it out loud. Mean it, because no matter how hard the world pushes, your first line of defense is always your mind. And the more you own your thoughts, the less the world owns you. The Stoics didn't teach positivity to escape life. They taught it to meet life fully with eyes wide open, feet grounded and heart steady. So today, let this be your new philosophy. Positive thinking is not pretending everything is fine. It's choosing to believe that you have the strength to make it so. Let that belief guide your words. Let it fuel your actions. Let it shape Your life